Hi everyone, this is a video about how to replace a motor on a T300RS. I've seen a lot of questions, a lot of issues coming up about problems with it. When I had the problem, the motor wouldn't calibrate, the wheel wouldn't calibrate, and it rotated from end to end quite violently. It just kept going in a loop. And eventually it lost its strength and it couldn't turn the wheel very fast. So I bought a replacement motor on eBay. This is the old one, but I'll show you what it looks like. So this was the old one. This is the motor that's come out. So as you can see, it's got two connectors, a couple of earth straps. I'll explain what how this came out, how to remove it and how to put the new one in. Unfortunately I've already done it. It was a bit of a risk. It was a bit of a punt when I wanted to fix it. I didn't know it was definitely going to be the motor, but it ended up being the problem. So if you're having issues with yours, I can't guarantee that this will fix it, but I think the most common issues on the motor, because it gets hot, the fan doesn't cool it adequately enough. I'll explain at the end of the video. There's a way of manually putting your fan on so that it's always running rather than just running when the motor gets hot, which is unfortunately kind of too late. By the time the fan comes on in the automatic mode, it's kind of too late. But I'll explain that anyway. So we'll start by opening up the wheel. I've got 4 screws at the front. We can now take the fascia off. And there's a couple of screws on this top half, so these two here, I don't know if you can see that. There's a screw here and a screw here, so that they need to be undone, but I don't think you need to. Sorry, there's 3 screws, there's one at the top here, so they're the only ones that need undoing. They're all the same screws, so I just tend to put them together. So then we flip the base over. There's 5 screws around the outside. I don't think this one we need to take off, so it's just these 5 around the outside. Should be it. So we should be able to now take the top off this. Be careful of the clips. Should just release. There's a couple of clips in there, so be careful not to break those. Okay, so this is the motor. This is the new one that I've put in. So in order to remove this motor, you need to remove the hall sensor first, which is this little green thing here. Sometimes I've read that these can break. Mine didn't. I don't really know how you tell if it is broken, but as I say, mine didn't break, so be very careful with it. So you undo these 2 screws and just move it aside. It's connected to some cables, so just move that aside. So next you need to unplug the motor. So there are, as we saw on the old one, there are 2 connectors which literally just pull out of the circuit board. They're under here, so they're fairly reachable and they come out fairly easily. You can see that with the light. So they're down here. There's 2 here. They come out fairly easily. The motor, you undo these 4 screws here. They're done up pretty tight, and just slide the motor out from off the belt. Leave the belt in place, and it should be easy to just put back in when you put it back together. So to put, there's a black wire that is down inside. It comes off of, I think I've cut it off of this, but it comes off of one of these. There you go. So see that little black wire there? See it sticking out there? So that connects to underneath the circuit board. It's a bit of a faff to remove. You literally have to remove everything to get underneath it, just to unsolder it from the board, which to me doesn't seem worth it. So I cut the wire, as this motor's going to be thrown away anyway, so I cut the wire and I soldered the new wire off of this new motor to it, and just connected it that way. Plug the connectors back in, put the motor back in, do the 4 screws up, put the hall sensor back on, do the 2 screws up, and then it should work. If you've been having the same problem as me, you then need to download the third-party calibration software. It's all self-explanatory, just Google it. Hope that helps. It's quite an easy job. If you are confident with soldering, the little black wire is literally the only wire you need to solder. The rest is just plug and play. If you're not confident with soldering, I guess you could do a crimped terminal. I didn't. I soldered it. I just wanted to make sure that it was strong, but as long as the wire's connected and isn't going to come loose, then you should be fine. Obviously, put the cover back on, do the screws back up, and test it. Download the software, and off you go. So once it's all back together, obviously refit the cover in the reverse of how you removed it. Put the wheel back on. In order to then put the fan into manual mode, you basically hold the mode button and press ST, and it will the light will blink, and the fan will start up. So it's best to keep that on all the time during use, rather than allowing the automatic fan mode to just kick in once it's hot. As I say, it's too late by then.